So welcome everyone to Grow. Today's session is all about AI-assisted marketing, getting through the basics, focusing on us, the busy entrepreneur. So if you've ever felt like marketing is never ending and you're having a hard time getting through and getting things done, well, guess what? AI is now one more thing that can help us make that happen. And today's session's all about getting through that, helping us get past the overwhelm and leveraging AI as a tool to make marketing happen. So if you haven't met me already, Laura Dunkley, I'm a fractional CMO and marketing consultant and have been building businesses and supporting others build their business for the past 2+ decades. And I love doing this. So please do continue on. There's a lot we're going to talk about today. And if you want to connect, I hope you do. My email is there and I'm also on LinkedIn. So today is a 20-minute mini content marketing workshop for busy entrepreneurs. And what we're going to talk about today is we're just going to understand that simple, repeatable marketing process with a focus on content strategy. We're going to pinpoint where beginner-friendly AI tools can create the biggest time savings. And we're going to ensure every AI generated asset still sounds and feels like you, a very important part. And then we're going to turn this strategy into a week by week routine that actually we can follow. So let's get started. First off, what we have to do is make sure we have an audit, right? And see where we are. Then we're going to have a plan, and then we're going to implement it, and then we're going to review it, and the process repeats. So what does that really look like? Well, the audit. So the purpose of an audit is to see what's working, but actually what's not working. And this is not new to AI. This is just basic marketing strategy. These are the things that all of us need to be mindful of through the entire process. We're just going to leverage AI to support us. So we're just backtracking a little bit to say, hey, what is marketing? How do we make sure that it's being implemented in the right way? So the first off is that mission that we have to find out what's working and what's not working, and that's the audit piece. So the key questions we have to ask ourselves, is which channels are actually working? What content is working? What tactics are we doing that is working? But then also, where are those gaps? What is really not working? And what are those things that we can optimize? And how AI can help us is through different prompts, right? We're going to set up a channel, and this is not what this session is for, but just remember you have, say, ChatGPT. We're just going to use that one for an example. We're going to see so many other tools, but whatever your main chat agent assistant is going to be, these are the things that we're going to start to build this marketing knowledge, right? So when we talk about these prompts, this is where you're going to put it in. And to specifically around the audit, that question would be, hey, review, summarize my last 10 Instagram posts. Now we're specifically getting into one channel here, but I just wanted to give you an idea that we can get quite granular in having them, the agent, the AI agent, review and analyze things. So it's like review it, analyze it, give me some themes, like what is going to happen. So that is a potential area we can do for the audit. Now, when it comes to the plan, right? So we've done an analysis. We've used Instagram as an example. It can be LinkedIn. It can be your full plan, your content strategy. We're not getting that granular, but that's the piece. So now it's like, okay, you have that information. What's the plan moving forward? That's the purpose, right? We need to set clear, realistic goals. And then key questions that we're going to ask ourselves is who our audience could be. What do they need this quarter? So if we have to step back and make sure we know what kind of plan we're doing, right? Is this for a full year plan? Is this a quarterly plan? For the purpose of this exercise, it's about your content. So a 90-day content, say that's what we're focused on. It's like we have to remember what we want to achieve in this section. What are our goals? our audience that we're focusing on? What are those things that we need to achieve this quarter? And a prompt example could be review my existing blogs, list 5 new blog topics that would be helpful for this audience. So this is quite granular, but if you have your plan in place and you need to do this, it's like, okay, this is going to happen. Here's my goals. This is, you've already reviewed it and audited it. You've seen where my gaps are and what's working well. Now I actually know blogs are my tactic. So review what I already have and then make sure I have future topics. So this is all for the purpose of content development. Okay, so we have a plan. Now we have to implement it, right? Like, so the implementation piece is all about actually creating it. So we have a plan, we have a 90 days. I mean, going back to the plan, you can actually ask ChatGPT, and I'm going to use that one as a reference. You can ask it, it's like, okay, here's my plan, or maybe you've already got a plan, you've uploaded it, right? Your full marketing plan. I'm doing a 90-day content plan. Here are my goals I want to achieve in the 90 days. You've already reviewed it for the audit. Now I need to implement it. You've given me some themes, I've thought about it and all that is. So now create a plan that I can do. And that's where you can say, hey, create a 90-day social media calendar, include dates, channel, topic title, and 1 to 2 sentence description. And I'm going to add in and create it into a table, into an Excel. And I just did this for someone. And it was great. It spat out a 90-day content plan. And it was all because I first had it review it. I gave it goals. I gave it all the information. And it's like, here are the tactics. Here are the channels. Now help me implement this plan. And it did. Now, remember, you can't skip the steps because it's not going to have all the information. So just remember, you have to go through this systematically. And then now it's like, okay, it's the end of the 90 days. So you put it back in. It's time to measure how well we did it. We need to adjust and repeat. And again, this has got nothing to do with the AI. This is you in your marketing flow, right? AI is just your assistant. You need to run this ship. So the purpose of the review section is to measure, adjust, repeat. So the key questions you need to ask yourself is which tactics delivered the best result? What tactics do we need to adjust? Maybe we need to continue with some that are doing well. Maybe some we need to adjust. Maybe we need to tweak. And others, maybe you need to stop doing it. And I say, as soon as you come up to that, stop, make sure it's very strategic because it's quite an investment to get into these tactics. So do be careful when you just go, oh, it's not working, I'm going to stop. You need to give it long enough time. It's a strategic decision, but you do need to adjust constantly. And some of the reports you want to have reviewing, and again, this is you, so you can review traffic, engagement, conversions, things that the kind of reports you're going to use, like depending on your channels. And everyone knows that I always say website is your hub of everything. You're going to use your Google Analytics, you're going to use your social media channels, maybe reports, and all those things you can upload into, say, ChatGPT or your AI assistant and have it analyze it. That's what it's really good for. The amount of hours I have spent in the past analyzing my own and clients' data is incredible. And that now can be done so quickly by AI. And that's where the assistant power comes in to synthesize, review and synthesize that kind of data. Now you have to review it, but please use it as an assistant. And then you go, okay, so now I'm going to do a quick review of everything and I'm going to update my plan for the next quarter. So these are the kinds of things that we want to be mindful of. And for a quick reference, I put it all on one slide so that you can print this out or at least have it all available for you. So that's the review. Let's keep those in mind. And now let's look into some tools that we could be using. And these are some of my favorites. There are so many tools out there and they're constantly evolving. And before I get into the ones that I've been using and I find I enjoy it because I piecemeal them together. I find end-to-end tools are not quite, as a time of this recording anyway, they're not really great. So as a marketing professional, it's easier for me to put all the things together and just put them together and manage them myself. So that is my strategy, and I'll tell you as I show them to you as I go along. But I also want to encourage you guys, if you said, oh, this tool wasn't really great before, go back, because as I was going through this process, I didn't realize even some of the things my favorite tools do, let alone other ones, because maybe if they didn't do it before, they might do it now. Okay, so one of my favorites is Grammarly, and I have been using these guys for like forever. And in the past, and this came up when I was talking to a client about this too, and they thought, oh, it just check the grammar of things you've already written? It's like, well, that's the way it was years ago, but now it does so much more. And so it has an AI writing capability on top of it. So this is a tool that's free. I do the paid version, so you're going to see what's happened in the paid version. And I, in the past, have used it and written content pre-AI, and then I put it in, and it checks my grammar. It checks for plagiarism. That's something that was always nice because it'll go and scan if something else has been done. Now they've added in AI. So let's see what they've done. So now there's an option where you can ask it, similar to some of the other tools, to write a blog post. Now, is it as good as some of the other tools? Maybe not. But what's nice, and I think that's where we have to come up with our critical checklist, right? It's like, does something else do it better? Or is it simpler? Maybe it's not better, but because it's all in one tool, does it make sense? So I tried doing this, and one of my clients is a property management services. So I asked, they take care of gardens and things. So I said, hey, write a blog about, and currently in Ontario, it's been a heat wave, is my understanding. It's like, hey, timely, right? We have to be fast when it comes to marketing. This is where AI can help us put out content in a timely way. It's like, okay, I've added in this blog about surviving. How does your garden survive during a heat wave? So it put in some information and actually wrote it. And it didn't do a bad job. Now, what's really cool about this tool compared to other ones is when I put it in here, see these little lines underneath? So I took it and I put it into the grammar check section where it can also check for plagiarism. But now it checks for AI sounding text. Because currently, there's so much, just everything sounds like AI, and we want, and Google wants, and our readers want original content. So it gave me a first draft. And then I said, oh, okay, those lines are AI. It sounds like AI. Now, sometimes it sounds like AI and it's still your voice. So you have to be still the leader of your marketing and your brand. And I got to go in and just change it. So it gave me first draft, and I updated it, and I watched the lines disappear. So the first two paragraphs also were full of lines, and I changed it. So that was kind of cool. It really helped me with that. So basically, I went through, I changed it, I took out most of the lines. Some I still liked the AI stuff, so I left it in. Now, what this doesn't do compared to, say, ChatGPT, and maybe I haven't done it enough, but normally I can ask ChatGPT is my entire AI assistant. So I'll say, hey, this is, write the blog, but I also need a boilerplate for my company. So I need a call to action at the bottom. And because it knows my whole plan for this client, it was easier to add more into the bottom. So that was the only downfall of this one. And then I wrote the blog, and can you see that? Yes. And so then I put it, this is the blog link. It's melinis.ca if you actually want to see the original blog. And I created this really pretty AI generated picture. Not with these guys, though. It's like, oh, I need a picture now. So I went to Canva. So anyway, if you want to check out the blog, it's melinis.ca/blog, and it's the latest one there. So now Canva, that's Grammarly, which is really good for writing. It's one tool. Canva is something most of us use, right? It's easy, it's there. We have photos, we can upload our own stuff, we have our brand guide, and we've done so many tutorials around this. So, this is a tool we've become familiar with. So, always check those tools that you're used to so that you don't A, have to spend more money, and B, you don't have to learn a whole new tool. So, Canva has, of course, created some AI tools of their own, and they are all about visual. Now, what I did, and if you go to canva.com, and I'm not sure if this is in the free version, but it's definitely in the paid version, right away it says, what will you design today? And you get to put in things. You get just write a description, same as if anyone's used Midjourney or any of the other ones that are out there. You have to describe what you want. And the better you are at describing, the better the results you'll get. So just remember that it's taking time to learn how to use these tools. So if you put that in there, and then you have a section underneath, create an image, draft a document, code for me, what kind of image. And I'm going to run through one of the other ones that I did. So I put this in. I don't know if you can follow my prompts through here. But basically, I had said using a natural texture background and text only, show how the word listen and silent are anagrams, and animate this, create a GIF. And so I did. And it created this really cool GIF. And I will let you see it and I'll go back to it. You can also right away add in music because Canva is all part of, like, that's part of their program too. And that's where it's nice. So you can create images, which was like the Molinas blog. You can create little animations. You can add music right away and you export it and bam, you are good. So this is, if you can see this, see how it animated? It's cute, right? I did try and use this to create the same thing on ChatGPT, and it was horrible experience. Now, maybe in the future it'll be better, but Canva actually did the best job. How I will use this, I don't know. It was just a demo, but I did want to show it to you. So you can create images, you can create realistic photos. There's so many different styles of things you can do. So I would say just go in and play. All right. So the next one is Squarespace. And as you guys know, we use this a lot because it's a Squarespace for website design. It's just an easy platform to create. It's drag and drop. It's easy to update. And we always want to make sure we're updating our content. So what's new with these guys, and I'm going to say new as of the recording of this, relatively so, is they have a little section on the left. So if you have a Squarespace website, and you go to the left, it's the main panel, website, and it says pages, styles, assets. It'll click on SEO and AIO. And it will go in and analyze your website to see if it's optimized for search engine optimization and AI optimization, right? Because it's not just about searches. People are now wanting to be show up in chats. And it'll take you through. And so I obviously on this website need some work. And so when you go into it, and I'm not sure if I can actually show it to you at this point, when you click on it, it will tell you, and it'll just pull up all the sections and you just go in and edit them. So it's like, oh, this one's failed, fix it. And so just before you go and do it, just plan some time, like spend an hour and go, okay, I'm going to go in and fix it, because it'll take you through the whole process. And it's, I would say, come back often, especially if you're updating your content a lot, and check on this. So that's Squarespace. And as all of you know, ChatGPT is one of my favorites, and it's probably the most popular out there. And know that there's options, right, that you can do, and they continue to update. Whether or not the 4.0 is just your basic supporting, hey, write a blog, do this, it's very much assistant doing it for you. And then there's also the other versions that help to be more strategic and analytical and research focused. So just know that a whole bunch of thing is there. And so the tools on the bottom are things too where you can add new things in, right? You can create image directly. You don't have to go to another one. Again, their image creating is challenging, but I have seen some people be quite successful. So do go in and all of these, give them a try. In agent mode, by this one is still relatively new, but that is one to keep an eye on because it's definitely speedily improving. And here is where in the image, which is kind of cool, right? There's all the different options that you can do. And so I wanted to give ChatGPT another chance to make a picture for me that I liked. And every time I go in, it's updated. So today, there's different ones: anime, dramatic headshot, coloring book, which is kind of fun. I put in a thing about creating an oak tree that looks, is more of a graphic, show the top, show the bottom. And of course, Acorn Studio Marketing and trees are kind of my thing. So this is what it came up with. It's like, that's okay. And it's simple and it's graphic. I will say things like nature, animals are pretty good. They still need help with human figures, like people, certain things, hands and things are still in the works and improving. But this one turned out not too bad. So that is ChatGPT, and that just scratched the surface on ChatGPT. You have got to get in there and learn about that one. Asana is the other one I use for project management. What do they do for AI? It's still limited on what they have. They do a whole workflow. There is a studio. I will give you a link to the AI studio. I have to dive into that a little bit more, but it's a tool mostly that I use to manage all the stuff I've used with AI. So I still put it in here. This is how things happen. They do have little bits in here, and this is the one thing I do use, is they have summarized tasks and you can draft the tasks. So there is, if you start to put in the description of things that you need to do, say if you have meeting notes, it will help you create tasks from that. So that is something they're pretty good at. And there is a whole studio piece too. So check out asana.com if you're looking for a project management tool. And then we get into Buffer. I'm going to just put it right out there. Buffer is one of the original scheduling social media tools. And I kind of have been ignoring it because it was like, is it any good? But again, see, this is where I say go back and look, because now I think they have a whole bunch of things, and I am going to revisit Buffer to see if they work well and AI is good. And maybe I'll come back into that space. So if any of you guys have insights on this tool or social media scheduling tool that they love to hear about it in our discussion with our live group afterwards or in the comments below. I'm always open to learn more about these tools. And I also am giving, SEMrush has put in a bunch of their favorites as well, and I will drop the link down below for you to check that out. So just keep looking, keep trying, keep playing. It'll constantly be adjusting. The takeaway from this is you need to use AI to assist you just to keep up with the demands of marketing, because if you're not doing it, your competitors are doing it, and it will save you time. And even if on some level, maybe you hire a marketing team, you still have to manage. There's still things that you need to do. So please do start to investigate this. And then best practice self checklist. Remember that it needs to sound like you. It's not the end all be all. You can't just throw it in there and just let it go. It's not good for your brand, and it's not good for search. So here's a self check for you. Does it sound like me? Because it needs to be consistent with your branding. Read it out loud, right? Compare one post to another. So make sure it sounds like you. Is it original? Avoid plagiarism and SEO penalties. Run that plagiarism check. Consider Grammarly. Find a tool that makes sure that you can check yourself. Is it original? If it's not original, please do cite the source. This is not an AI new thing. This is just good marketing practice. Is it correct? Again, credibility for you, legal safety. Check quotes against the links. I don't know how many times I have gone in and ChatGPT has given me a link and it's wrong. I can't find the source. It's gone to the wrong link. Please do check it and make sure it's accurate and it's working. So, is the source reputable? Of course, you also don't want to be linking back to something you shouldn't. Maybe you don't want to be linking to a competitor or something that's not reliable, because you need to build your trust, and it takes years to build reputation and can take moments to destroy it. So, please do that. And of course, it likes first party data in credible publications. Is it bias free and inclusive? This is a nice, definitely important and nice to have. Does it reflect your brand values? Again, it's this you running the ship. You have to make sure that everything you put out there, whether it's AI assisted or a marketing consultant does it, whoever does it, that it reflects your values. So scan it and make sure it's working for you. And also be mindful of any other things you need to be cognizant of regarding your industry, because remember, these things are not always private, and there's certain things you need to do. So privacy, compliance are very important, especially in certain regulated industries. So do check that first. So we're going to create, and next week we're going to work more on this, but 90-day content calendar. So now we've got all of this information, we've got our tools in place, we're going to create a content calendar. So set your goals. What do you want to achieve? For example, in the 90 days, you can do 30 days. I don't recommend doing more than 90 days. Say, for instance, and there's a typo there, look at that. 90 days, grow your email list by 100 subscribers. Say you want to do that. That's just an example, but set that goal. And then find out your weekly deliverables. What weekly action items do you need to do to help reach those goals? So create a lead magnet. Say you're going, okay, I really want to push this workshop. So now I need to create that lead magnet, but what are some of the other things I need to do? I did that. Remember, I'd mentioned I did this 90-day content calendar for a client. I also asked it to create an action list. So what's my timeline that I need to do? Include more than social media, right? Like these are all the things we need to do. It's like, okay, you need to write your lead magnet. You need to proof your lead magnet. You need to brand your lead magnet. You had to add it to your website. You need to test it. You need to make sure the download like all of those pieces are all part of it. So make sure you get that weekly work back schedule. Assign tasks and deadlines. Who else needs to do it? So if you put, say, for example, you're using ChatGPT and you say, hey, I have a designer, here's their job description. I have a social media manager, here's their job description. Now, based on my team, who should do what and when? So that's it. And also give ChatGPT a role. Don't forget to do that. Number 4 is schedule those marketing days. This is outside of everything. This is your process. How are you going to make sure you're actually getting this done? Are you going to batch everything on Monday? Are you going to do creatives on a certain day? Actually plan out your timeline to make sure that you can commit to doing your marketing. And number 5, plan those weekly reviews. I would say weekly high-level reviews, and then make sure at the end of the 90 days you set aside a time on your calendar. That's where Asana can come in. Asana really will help you figure all of this out. And that's something we use to make sure that gets done. And then at the end of the 90 days, set aside a longer period of time. Half day, go collect your data, your reports, download your Google Analytics, get your social media data, upload it into ChatGPT or whatever you're using. Say, okay, this is what we did for 90 days. Here's my plan. Here's the results. Analyze it and go through it again. Here's my audit. Here's my plan. How am I going to implement it? Maybe get ChatGPT to say, hey, these are the things, the challenges I'm having. Do you have any ideas on how I can optimize my time better? So beyond just the content calendar, ChatGPT or whoever you're using can be an assistant to help you be a strategic partner. So review, learn, and then update your plan. So those key takeaways, just get started with AI. It is here to stay. It's not going away. So please find a way to use it, review it, talk, do your research, and just get started. It is here to help you, not replace you. You still need to run the ship. Ask the right questions. They're not like it's garbage in, garbage out, right? Like if you don't know how to ask it questions, you won't get the right answers, and then you'll be frustrated, which is why we go back to this audit. All of those key things to think about is just marketing best practices. You are the marketing, you are your brand leader, or you hire someone to do it, right? Like either way, whoever's running your marketing, this has to happen. Find the right tools and process that work for you, and then learn, do, and adapt. More now than ever, that learn, do, and adapt is something that we've been talking about for more than a decade when digital marketing has come in. It's like we thought it was fast 10 years ago. Oh my goodness. It is so fast. So if you don't have processes in place on how to do this and repeatable and making sure you schedule time to do it, you're going to get left behind or you're going to miss the gaps. So learn as you're ahead of time, do your research, do it, try it, fail fast, figure it out, and then adapt to make it better. So just keep that in mind as you go forward. So the next session is about planning a 90-day content calendar, and I will get into showcasing what that looks like. We're going to probably use Garden Grows. That's our demo company, and we will create some stuff and that you can use to help and figure out how to replicate your process. Now, whatever I create, it works for me. You're going to have to adjust it for you, and I'll make it as simple as possible, but it's also meant to just be a guideline. You're going to figure out what works for you, and then you will continue to optimize it. That's it.